As a domain name attorney, I'm often asked by my clients and potential new clients, where do you file UDRP complaints? As I've said in other videos, the UDRP, the Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy, is an alternative to litigation, so complaints are not filed in any court. And although these domain name disputes always involve trademark rights, they're not filed with the Trademark Office either. And although the UDRP was created by ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, complaints are not filed with ICANN itself. Instead, UDRP complaints have to be filed with an ICANN-approved dispute provider. And there are 6 of them around the world as of this recording. Hi, I'm Doug Isenberg, an attorney and founder of GigaLaw, a law firm that helps clients protect their brands on the internet. In this video, I'm going to introduce each of the 6 UDRP service providers. All of them follow the same policy and the same rules, although there are some subtle differences among them. I'm going to talk about where each of them is located, explain their fees, and how their services may differ from each other, and discuss how a trademark owner might go about selecting a UDRP service provider when deciding where to file a complaint against a cybersquatter. The World Intellectual Property Organization, or WIPO, is the largest and oldest provider of UDRP services. An agency of the United Nations with its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, WIPO handled the very first UDRP case, which was filed in 1999. Since then, WIPO has handled tens of thousands of cases, many of which are often cited as important, if not landmark, decisions that have shaped UDRP jurisprudence. Indeed, WIPO has published and updated what it calls an overview of UDRP cases, which is a lengthy document addressing many important issues that arise under the UDRP. WIPO has a large staff that includes many case managers who speak many languages, as well as a roster of hundreds of panelists from around the world. By the way, WIPO also accepts cases under many other domain dispute policies, such as those that apply to some of the most popular country code top-level domains, or CCTLDs, although the UDRP accounts for the overwhelming majority of its domain dispute business. Filing fees for a UDRP complaint at WIPO start at $1,500, and WIPO's practice includes issuing a partial refund if a case is settled and terminated before the panel has been appointed. The forum, formerly known as the National Arbitration Forum, or NAF, is the second largest UDRP service provider. Based in Minneapolis, Minnesota in the United States, the forum provides a variety of alternative dispute resolution services, including domain name dispute services under the UDRP, as well as the URS, or Uniform Rapid Suspension System, a policy with limited relief that applies only to the so-called new GTLDs and not to the legacy GTLDs such as .com, .net, and .org. The forum's filing fees for a UDRP case start at $1,330. The Czech Arbitration Court, sometimes referred to as the CAC, is a not-for-profit organization based in Prague in the Czech Republic and is a part of the Czech Chamber of Commerce. The Czech Arbitration Court also handles disputes for the European Union's .eu country code and was approved by ICANN as a UDRP service provider in 2008. As the third largest provider, CAC offers a structured online filing system that optionally allows a trademark owner to pay a small fee to have its complaint reviewed for administrative compliance before proceeding. And its filing fees are the lowest of all of the UDRP service providers, starting at 800 euros, or about $945 as of this recording, although CAC panelists have the right to charge an additional fee for complex cases. And like WIPO, the Czech Arbitration Court will refund a portion of the fees if a case is withdrawn or terminated before panel appointment. The Asian Domain Name Dispute Resolution Center, or ADNDRC, consists of 4 offices in Kuala Lumpur, Seoul, Beijing, and Hong Kong, the last of which is referred to as the Hong Kong International Arbitration Center, or HKIAC, and which accounts for most of this UDRP provider's caseload. Like the forum, ADNDRC also provides domain dispute services under the URS, the so-called rapid policy applicable to the new top-level domains, as well as the UDRP. Most of this provider's decisions, and there are currently about 2,000 of them, involve parties from Asia. ADNDRC's filing fees for UDRP complaints start at $1,300. The Arab Center for Dispute Resolution, or ACDR, is the second newest UDRP service provider, having been approved by ICANN in 2013. Based in Amman, Jordan, ACDR hasn't attracted many UDRP filings, with only 9 reported decisions as of this recording. Its filing fees start at $1,500. Finally, the Canadian International Internet Dispute Resolution Center, or CIIDRC, is the newest UDRP service provider and began accepting cases in 2019. CIIDRC is a division of the Vancouver International Arbitration Center, formerly the British Columbia International Commercial Arbitration Center, a provider of alternative dispute resolution services in many contexts, not just domain names, although it does provide dispute services for the Canadian top-level domain .ca. As of this recording, CIIDRC has handled only about 15 UDRP complaints. CIIDRC has an interesting two-step process for fees, with a small initial fee due when a complaint is filed, followed by a larger panel fee later if and when a panel is appointed. The initial fee starts at $425, and the panel fee starts at $1,050. So, with 6 very different UDRP providers located all around the world, how in the world does a trademark owner decide where to file? After all, the similarities are greater than the providers' differences. They all follow the same UDRP policy, which includes the all-important 3-part test I discussed in an earlier video, and the same UDRP rules, although each provider has adopted slightly different versions of supplemental rules relating to such things as fees and word or page limits. It's important to know that a trademark owner can choose among any of the 6 providers. I often encounter clients who think for some reason that they need to file a UDRP complaint with a provider located in its jurisdiction, such as with the forum if the client is in the United States, or with WIPO if the client is in Europe. But that's just not true. Anyone, anywhere, can file a complaint with any UDRP service provider. And that's because everyone who registers a domain name agrees to certain terms of service. And one of those terms states that domain name registrations are subject to the UDRP, which is a universal policy without borders. So how then can a trademark owner make up its mind? As I've described in this video, most of the providers offer comparable fees, although the Czech Arbitration Court is less than all of the others, and fees for larger complaints or 3-member panels can vary from provider to provider. Plus, because the filing fee is just one part of the overall expense of a UDRP case, as I explained in another video, cost is usually not a deciding issue, although it can be a consideration. Other considerations might include reviewing a provider's roster of panelists, and in full disclosure, I serve as a panelist at a number of them. Reading a provider's decisions, all of which are published online, to get a feel for the quality of work, and talking with an experienced domain name attorney about how professionally cases are handled at a particular provider and what sort of support can be expected, if needed, from a provider staff. Because UDRP decisions cannot be appealed, and in most cases, complaints cannot be refiled at the same or a different provider, selecting where to file a UDRP complaint is an important consideration for a trademark owner's overall strategy to combat cybersquatting. To learn more about domain name disputes, I invite you to take a look at other resources on my website at www.giga.law, where you can also subscribe to receive a daily email newsletter about important developments in internet law. Thank you.